Sun's coming up. It's 9:30. Definitely not getting a real early start. Got some repairs to do out at the farm. So getting headed out there. Hope everybody's having a great morning. See you out at the farm. Ooh, yeah, it's a little cool. The truck's nice and warm though. Messy, but nice and warm. Need a cup holder though. I realize on this phone, the colors may not show up real good. But it is a very nice sunrise. I mean, just stellar. Yeah, it's after 10 o'clock, but hey, it's okay. Sun's coming up anyways. The way you're seeing things now, kind of a blue-gray color, that's kind of a lot of our winter from December to February. That'd be a good way to describe how things look. It's going to get a little lighter when the sun actually comes up. But since our sunrises and sunsets take so long to happen, this is a lot of the day. It's just kind of this twilighty, blue-gray color. So definitely is what makes me think winter in Alaska is, especially when you're out away from the city and away from the lights. It really brings it out. We're going to take a stop up here and look at the river. So I can see what it's been doing. Hope I don't hold up any traffic on this busy road. As you can see, there's more snow machine tracks. Obviously, everybody's using it to cross. Well, it's not flowing anymore. There is spots, like here's an open spot. And let's go to the other side, see what we see. Yeah, there's another open lead. So it's not sure I'd be crossing it yet. We're getting there. If it'll get cold for another week or two, people will start crossing the river in places. Fortunately, we have this wonderful bridge, so everybody can access the other side of the river without having to risk crossing it on a questionable time. So basically, by this time of year, if the bridge wasn't here, you'd be starting to look for a place to cross the river. Trapping season is open in a lot of places, so if somebody's wanting to get out and go trapping, late moose hunt, just get to their cabin. So a nice bridge like this really does help remove some of the risk for folks that are trying to get across the river. So I know there's many a time when we would come this direction early in the year, you either didn't cross or you were very, very careful where you crossed. And yep, occasionally people do fall through the ice, which is not something we want. So the bridge is definitely a positive. Around. You'll notice a few of these little sloughs, like this one, still haven't totally froze up. And starting to get enough snow cover on the road. Good morning. What a pretty morning. Or almost a pretty afternoon. I think it's good to take a moment and stop and take in the view. I never get tired of looking at the sunrises or seeing how it affects the mountain. But it is time to get to work. Okay, it is December 2nd. I think it is, 12/2. We have a leak on the skid steer. We tried to tighten it up last week and it didn't work. So we have some new parts, O-rings. We'll take it apart, see what's actually unhappy. Skid steer's had all week with the heater running intermittently to completely dry out, so we're not fighting ice and snow and drips. I just got to get in there. Well, hi everybody. I'm in the bowels of the skid steer. It's really not that bad. The sun's come up, it's over the mountain. Everything's really pretty and pink. So if we look in here, first of all, it's really pretty debris free. I mean, we did clean this out about 300 hours ago, 400 hours ago. There's a little bit of stuff in here, but not that bad, especially considering we're fighting the seals coming off. We had to take off a number of hoses. I don't know if that helps or not. And the O-ring right on there, if we go and look at it, it just kind of come apart. I don't quite know. The fitting had gotten loose and something had happened. So we did try tightening it last week. We didn't have any O-rings anyways. And obviously with O-ring that looked like that, tightening it would not do any good whatsoever. So we got new O-ring. We're going to put that on and be ready to go. Okay, new fittings on. New fittings for twofold. One, wasn't sure if the fitting was damaged or the O-ring. I know the odds of the fitting being damaged would be really slim. Number two, need to make sure we had wrenches that would fit it and all that good stuff. So, I mean, packing it this far out, trying to make sure we have everything we need to get it fixed. So they're definitely not supposed to look like that. Sun is up. It's squawking at you. Okay, Dave is up testing the mulcher. The wind has come up. It's pretty outside, but it is brisk. We're going to go up and see if we can get that pile to light. I don't know if there's too much snow for this or not. We'll find out. Yeah, I had to put the camera down there for a little bit. It was a little sporting getting through some of the snow drifts down in the bottom of the field. Now we're climbing up that ridge on the other side. Dave's over there cleaning up some debris. This is pretty close to about the last of being able to drive around on the farm. The snow wasn't getting quite too deep, but the drifts, when you ran across those, they definitely were a challenge for the truck. Nobody wants to get the truck stuck. And this one particular burn pile has been a bugger. It has taken a long time to get it to burn. We may actually stack it up and let it dry and try again next fall. We made it. You win?
Not leaking. It's still at the same level of hydraulic oil it is.
Good. Been running for 30 minutes? Hour? Nah, we've been going.
No, we over.
There's a little bit of a sunset. It's about 2:30. You know, check the lake, walk over to the property line and mark it. This is the last little corner of clearing. There's a little bit of high ground here in the edge of the property. Turned out to be an absolutely wonderful day. It is a little breezy. I guess might have got 10 degrees today. We'll look when we get back. Yeah. A little bit of snow. It's a foot or so, I guess you could say. So it's been pretty cold, and this isn't a very big body of water. So it is more than likely plenty frozen. Yep, there's the ice. One thing to keep in mind when on a lake like this, have the moose crossed it, have the wolves crossed it. If the animals are not crossing it, that's reason to be a little concerned. But I do know it's really shallow on this end, so I do not believe I'm going to go through. So we're going to walk across it and see what's on the other side. The other thing to remember is everywhere there's little pieces of brush and sticks sticking out. That's an avenue for the cold to travel through the snow to the water. Again, not sure I would bring heavy equipment across it. When the temperature drops, the snow has a distinct sound. As I'm walking, you hear that crunch or almost a crunch squeak sound. That's definitely a sign that it is 0 or below 0. And the colder it gets, the more the sound changes. This is pretty much the last time we're going to use the mulcher this year. This is about the last time we'll be using the mulcher head on the skid steer this year. The fact there's such little daylight and the snow's starting to get a little deep plays a factor. And in these super cold temperatures, the powdery snow that the mulcher throws up causes problems as well. Everything from visibility to building ice up in places that you don't want it. But we did use it for almost 8 months this year, so that's pretty good. Got a lot cleared. So the sun's fixing to go behind this hill. So if you were on this lake, I bet it came over the hill somewhere around 11 o'clock. And here it is a little after 2. It's going below the hill. So this time of year in this location of direct sunlight, there's about 3 hours. Total light, probably 6, maybe 5.5. Let's see. Dave is somewhere over there, I believe. You can hear him in the background. So, and the property line is out in between 2 lakes. So I brought some flagging. Maybe I can pick it out. See what the drifts are like. Moose have been doing things. Doing moose things. I guess I need 2 hands. It's fixing to get complicated. Yeah, well, this is a hoot to walk through. The reason the moose have such long legs. Probably can't see it, property line and corner is over there. And I see in front of me is a property line marker. It's a striped flag that the state put out. And we can't quite see it through the brush out that way to the other part of the property. So let's get out there and reflag that marker so we know. Section line. So that means there's a 50-foot easement on each side of the section line. So if I turn around, now it's going to come out. Some flagging right there if you guys can see it. So 50 foot on that side, 50 foot on that side is public easement. Trying to walk straight towards it, there'll be a track in the snow. Anyways, so that's for anybody to build a road, or if they need access to land, it's a public easement. Pretty standard in most places in the US as far as I know, especially important here in Alaska. So, is anybody going to build a road across this lake? No, that's not going to happen. But if they needed to access it by a snow machine or something to get to a piece of property somewhere else, they could, for sure. So it's our responsibility to make sure that's kept open. I do not know the exact rules on fencing, but when we fence or do anything, we won't fence up to the line, because obviously people have to have access to get by. So you can see, there it is right there. That's looking straight across to the other side. So you can see here on the lake, there's actually a crack between the weight of the snow, the weight of the ice, and as winter comes on, a lot of these lakes and bodies of water, the amount of water in them goes down, therefore the ice will settle. So that's what we're seeing here, is the ice is just settling a little bit. It's actually a good sign when you see a crack like that, it's gotten thick. Well, again, this last little bit of property line marked and cleared was pretty high on the list. It's nice to get that accomplished this year. That way we know the boundaries of the property and can make sure we stay on them when we develop it. With a little bit of luck, the snow will hold off and we can get the grapple in here on the skid steer and get some of these logs stacked up. You can see Dave off in the distance. The light's leaving us pretty rapidly. And it's just a jumbled mess of these large logs. Just hard to get through. Absolute mess. So Dave has to move them to the side, cut what he can cut, move them to the side. Slow going, but he's getting it. Oh, it's cooling off a little. I think tomorrow they said it's going to be 15 below. So, if we look behind me, that's the edge of the property. And we're at a property corner. So there's a line going off. So there's property over there and over there. And then of course, go off that way. I don't know if we can see Dave or not. Flip you around. So like we talked about before, they had to offset the corner, which is right there, because I'm standing out on top of the lake. So the corner would be right here, basically where I'm standing, but obviously it's water. So they set that corner back. So all three of them meet right here. So I'm going to tie some flagging on the closest brush sticking up. Doesn't really matter much. It is what it is. But anywho, thought I'd show that. Beautiful sunset. You can see just the, I'll get the glove out of the way. I'll try to maybe get a little better picture as I walk across the lake. Just the tip of Mount McKinley. Sticking over the top. Anywho, put my gloves back on. It's a little chilly, but it is beautiful. The camera does not do it justice. So here's a spot where a moose did cross. And that's fairly old. I mean, the wind has blown it in. It's gotten just dark enough. Dave's having a hard time seeing, especially with the snow flying. So he's headed back. I'm just taking advantage of the easy walking. Because 6 inches of snow out here, way better than that foot or more with logs in the trees.
Well, it was a little bit of a walk back across that lake and then had to climb the ridge to get back to the truck. But just when I'm cresting the ridge and getting close to the truck, I did notice the mountain. Figure I'd stop, take a moment, get a little shot of that through the trees. It is going to be a beautiful, clear night tonight, that's for sure.
So it's the end of our day. It is little after 4:30.
It's always nice to get into a warm pickup after working outside in the cold weather. Kind of like cozying up to a wood stove or a campfire. We did get a fair bit done today. We got the leak fixed on the skid steer and then did some mulching and worked on clearing that property line. All things that needed to be done. And after all those really long days working through the summer, it's okay to slow down a little bit, take a little bit of a break. Here in about 4 months, we'll be ramping back up and it'll be spring again. It's about getting time to plow the road to the farm. It's starting to get a little bit drifted in. Pretty lucky this year, there's only one spot that's been drifting over on the road.
A little bit of snow drifts, but not too bad for the truck.
I'm sure there's either a blade for the skid steer or a snowblower for the tractor in our future. Well, if you guys are liking what you see, why don't you consider subscribing? It sure does help.
Lock the gate. There is the mountain, which I know I've showed you guys before.
We would like to thank everybody for watching and hope you're as excited as we are. Remember, spring's just around the corner. It'll be time to start planting that corn.